Hey guys, welcome back to The Growing Place.
Hey!
Guys, we have been so excited. It's funny, at the time we're recording this episode, the last one, we filmed, what was it, just over a week ago?
It was last Monday, not this week, but the previous week, so
Yeah, we
almost
we
two.
we were sitting on last week's episode for a little while because, and it kind of ties into today's topic, um, something I think more than any of us, I think we all struggle with time management. What do you think, Gabby?
I definitely think time management is a hot topic right now. I do think a lot of people, we do struggle with it.
I think you have it kind of figured out a bit more than most people, or at least you're better at trying to combat it. Meanwhile, I, on the other hand, I don't even know my day schedule half the time. Like, literally, I was talking to my brother-in-law at one point, or no, it was my friend, my best friend, and he was saying how um, when I was trying to figure out plans to play a game night with them, I was like, "Hey, let me text my friend," and they're like, "Why are you texting your friend?" I'm like, "Cause she knows my referring to Gabby, and I was like, "She knows my schedule better than me," and I'm like, "They're like, do you have a secretary?" I'm like, "No, it's just she's trying to get me more on track because she knows how I'm not good with time management."
Honestly, I think all of that stemmed from the group planning
It
that
really
we did
did.
last year.
Our group
And,
planning was top notch last year.
well, thank you. And I think that kind of just inspired you. Hey, let me get a planner. Let me write this down. And
Literally, I went. Well, I think it was like February or something. I went to Walmart and I bought a little planner that fits in my little man bag. And I don't. People ask me, why don't you just put it in your phone? You always have your phone. I don't like putting it in my phone. I like it a little planner because I can
right.
then see it all laid out in front of me. I don't have to individually click on those days. I can look at it and get a overall sense of what's going on versus the
Right.
alternative.
Which is why I like a monthly planner. But here's the thing, my coworker actually said that I inspired her to organize her life as well. And she got a planner and she uses that now. But she said because she saw me with my 6 year planner. And here's why I have a 6 year planner. Okay. I know it probably sounds really extra to some of you, but
A little bit.
listen, I like to save my planners because I like to know what I did with my life. Not that I ever truly look back, but I feel like someday I might. Like, wait a minute. And it's actually very helpful when I'm trying to calculate my friend anniversaries so I can know when I met somebody. But I was like, instead of having all these multiple planners, let me just get one planner with 6 years in it and save that one book.
Meanwhile, I was like, before I got my day or my monthly planner, and even still, like I really don't plan out more than like a month or two in advance unless there's like oh, my brother-in-law and I are gonna go shoot a wedding because those are way in advance, or hey, our it's a friend's birthday thing that's planned way in advance, like or a church event. I really don't plan that far in advance because I'm like, there is no way I will keep up with that. But again, the planner has helped. So guys, this is your sign to go get yourself a monthly planner.
Yes, I don't stick to the weeklies because I really just
Yeah.
don't. I don't really look at my planners and I don't plan my day out that extensively that I'm going to fill out
Plus,
the weekly.
and plus with the weekly one, you're getting a more small scale thing where it's like, okay, you can see like Sunday to Saturday, for example, but with the other, you can see a grand scheme. The more you can see on one in one spot, I find the better it is for it.
Definitely.
So the reason we were kind of talking about this in this topic, like literally, I knew this was going to be our topic after were when we went to go record the first episode, because the what was it? Because like it was those days were crazy busy. Honestly, I don't even remember all of it. I just remember like we were scrambling to get it done, and then the episode, my computer decided to flip and try to record
Yeah.
out of it, so we had to re-record the whole episode, and then we both had to like be places, and
Yeah, we were exhausted. We already had a long day, each of us.
it was a busy time.
And I mean, it was already later in the day that we got to do it. So But it worked out. Yeah, we did have to re-record, but it's okay. Came out better.
Yeah, I would say so. You were less nervous sounding.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
like, oh, I've already said this once. I can do it again now.
Well, it's my first time ever recording myself in this sense or being on a podcast. So of course I was gonna be nervous.
I'm telling you guys, as like even adults, like as kids and teens, you really aren't planning that much out. Outside of like school stuff, you're just kind of as a kid, you just follow along with what your parents do, and typically the only things you plan are like hangouts with other kids and stuff like that. And as a teenager, you're depending on where you're at, you're either trying to figure out getting a part-time job, keeping up with your studies, or something like that. But I'm telling you, once you hit the college years, oh man, that's the roughest, I think, because you have to plan. You're planning around church stuff. You're got your college schedule, your study schedule, your work schedule, and then anything outside of that, like any friends. It's really hard to balance it all. Like adult friendships, especially, are the hardest thing to balance, I think.
You definitely have to prioritize. You have to know what your priorities are. You have to know what fits in best where.
I really think that, like I was just saying, it's like the one thing that because that's the thing is it's a priority thing. Where are your priorities? What are you devoting the most time to? Like right now, last year, my time was to my friends. I devoted a lot of time developing those relationships and keeping them together. Like again, we were just talking about like we did group activities like almost every weekend from August through November, I think, or December.
And then we did some in December. We honestly saw each other most of the days in the week.
I was going to say it was like at least 4 to 5 times a week minimum.
Yes.
There were days where I think there was like a 3-week period where you, me, and like 3 others saw each other every day for 3 weeks.
It was a season of definitely pouring into each other. And I think we needed that because
We really
this
did.
year, everybody's kind of dispersed into their own thing, which is beautiful. But I'm
Everyone's
glad God,
walking into new seasons.
yeah, I'm glad God allowed us to have that time to establish and be rooted in.
It was good because if we didn't have that season to do that, we wouldn't be as like, even though we don't get to hang out as much these days and all that, we're still there for each other. Like we still know that we had this time together. We know that we matter, and you know, we had a season to bond, so that this season now, where everyone's kind of doing their own thing, we're still there. I mean, I literally have a picture of us over there in my living room.
We all have that picture because he gave us all that same picture for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful. But definitely when you're a young adult and you have the freedom of not being married or not having kids, and you really have a closed circle of friends that support you, that you are safe with, that you love spending time with, take the opportunities that you have to get together and to have a firm foundation in that. Of course, invite God into the picture, because when you do get married and when you do have children, that starts to shift a little bit. You can still hang out. It doesn't change anything. Like even if you get married, if both of you are in the group, you're, same page, hey, we can all hang out just fine. But priorities do shift.
It actually reminds me of a conversation you and I had recently. And this isn't like, I want to preface this now. This isn't like throwing shade or anything. I just think it's an interesting point. Is you and I were talking, I don't know if we were texting or if we were talking, but I'm pretty sure we were texting. And you had asked me if I was okay. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. I feel like you've been distant recently. And I had to think about that. I'm like, what does she mean distant? And then we talked about it a little more. And basically what I realized, it's like, no, I'm not distant. It's just like, we were looking at like me, you, my brother, sister-in-law, and a few others. And it's like, well, my brother and sister-in-law, they just had a baby. Our other friend, she's kind of doing her own thing. You have been spending more time with your boyfriend and then with ministry and stuff like that. And I've just been kind of focusing on serving the church and just doing my own thing. But it's like I haven't move. I didn't move away. It's just you guys were just in a different season than I am. I'm the only one not dating anybody. The only one who doesn't like have. I'm not the only one who doesn't have kids, but I'm the only one who's not in like that kind of season yet. So it's not that I was like being distant. It wasn't that I was being left behind. It's just, everyone's got their own seasons, and it's a thing where it's like, but you and I still make time to hang out and do stuff like this. And honestly, like, how many times do you think you and I see each other a week with church stuff?
Well, now with the podcast, it would probably be at least 3.
No, it'd be more than that because there's church.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, there's church.
4 now.
Church, podcast, play practice, and
dinner church.
Yeah, dinner church.
So 4.
Yeah. But
yeah,
again,
we're in ministry together, so we see each other a fair amount because a lot of our ministries align.
If you ask anybody at our church what we do, we serve.
Right.
Air high five.
And there you
go. It's we are very much that's how we choose to spend some of our time. Like, again, one of our priorities for us is serving the church. My dad asked me the other day, he's like, what all do you do for your church? And I was like, I had to think about it because I was like, there's a lot that I'm involved with. And again, that's not like a brag or anything like that. It's just I'm using, like, again, I'm the single one right now. I'm using my time of singleness to do that. I have the free time. That's where I'm devoting it. That's how I'm choosing. That's my priority. And that actually reminds me of a conversation I had. And this may be, because again, we're young adults. We're not always right on these matters. We have our own takes and all that. But I had a conversation with my old youth pastor a couple of years ago, and it just made me think of this. Him and I were talking about careers and relationships and stuff like that. And he was saying that, we were talking about, I was not making a lot of money at the job I was at the time. And I couldn't save much of anything. It was rough. It was before I moved out and all that, before I got a job that would allow me to move out. Well, him and I were talking, and we were talking about how he thought that something I should do is get like a job, like a job, like factory work or something that pays a lot, but doesn't really give you a lot of free time. And he's like, well, here's the thing. If you're going to prepare for a wife, you should be banking all this money and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, it's going to suck now, but it's like, then you can, but then once you have a wife, it'll make the job a little bit easier. And my thought then was like, but if I do that, when will I have the free time to meet anybody? When will I have the free time to see my friends or anything like that? He's like, well, you wouldn't really have that much time, and your energy is going to be kind of. I'm like, I know. It's like, I don't want to spend my early 20s slaving away, and lose all those relationships. Now, again, if some people, that's how they want to do it. That's their prerogative. That's their priorities, and good on you. It wasn't for me. And I look back on it, and him and I were talking about this again semi-recently, and he kind of asked me, we were talking about that, and he asked if I ever wish I could go back on that, and I said, no, I don't. Not trust me, it'd be nice to have some money, but looking at where I'm at now, I think I would have been miserable had I done that back then. I would have been so tired. I wouldn't have any of the friends that I have now and all that. It would have been a completely different life I'd be living.
Everyone has a different path for sure. But I think your 20s should be a decade of building who you are, recognizing who you are, prioritizing the things that matter to you, and building on it. Still having a vision. Not everyone's made for factory work or whatever the case may be, but if a career path is your passion, focus on that. Maybe it's not socializing and making friends. Maybe you're an introvert. Maybe that's not your priority. Maybe it is growing in knowledge and skill. Do that. Whatever feeds your spirit, your soul, your thing, whatever that is, go for it. But I definitely learned, like in high school, not everyone has the same path. Not everyone's going to go to college. Not everyone wants to spend 4 to 8 years reading books and studying and doing all that. But some people,
Me.
that's their thing. And that's beautiful. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
people that can do that. I love people that go to school for trade. I love people that start their own businesses that,
Like, and that's the thing is, so I went to college for a little bit, but man, I hated every moment of it. I could not stand being at college. But again, a lot of my friends did. And there are times where I'm like, yeah, I wish I would have just sucked it up and finished. And there are other times, and I'm like looking at it now, I'm like, I don't have the money or the time to do that now, and I don't have the patience to spend that much time on it again. Um, and all that. But there are days where I do go back and I think about it. I'm like, I kind of wish I would have just, but it's one of those things where it's like, and this may be a hot take, but I feel like it's not so much an opinion as it is just reality. Your 20s are for making mistakes. Not necessarily like, oh, go make mistakes, but it's like, no, you will make mistakes. You will have things that you regret. You will do the 20s. Your 20s are just kind of all over the place. Like Abby just said, you're really figuring out who you are, what you like, what you don't, who you are as a person, where your beliefs are, and all that. And I found out my belief is I don't like college. I think it's good for a lot of people. It wasn't for me, but that's just a me thing.
yeah, definitely in your 20s, you will make a lot of mistakes. I think going back to the college thing that, whatever it is you decide to do, wherever you feel led in your 20s, you likely won't have it all figured out and you might change your path. Like you might think, I want to go this way. And then God's like, actually, this is where I want you to go. Whatever it is you're called to do, do it to the utmost. Do it with a spirit of excellence. Work hard, dedicate yourself to it, and it will pay off in the end. I was raised definitely to always work hard when I'm young, so that way when you're older, hey, you can sit back and retire.
And see, that's the thing. It's like, again, your 20s are, you're, even at 29, you're still, just completely stumbling over my words, but society might tell you that 29, like, oh, you're about to be 30, you're old. You're really not in the grand, because if you think about it, the average person a few years ago would have retired at 65. I find that age is, for a lot of people, going back further because more people in their 20s are having a harder time getting started in a career field, and people don't stay in career fields.
Even if they go to college.
And that's the thing is, people don't stay in career fields nearly as long as they used to. Like, in today's age, you don't see it. In our parents' generation, you picked a career, you were typically in that career until you retired. It doesn't seem to be that way anymore. But again, that's how you prioritize, how you spend your time.
Well, I think people are still searching. Back then, it was probably a little bit more simple for them. They're like, okay, this is what works. This is what pays the bills. And then I'm loyal to it. The culture's completely changed. A lot of it's about, what do I want to do? And so, forgot what I was going to say. Darn. That happens sometimes.
For real. But yeah, it all just, like you said, it's depending on how you spend your time. Like right now.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Okay, so my AP Psych teacher in high school told me, and I'll never forget this, that actually...
Until a minute ago when you did.
Okay, well, listen. I forgot what I was going to say, but I haven't forgotten the story. She said that, honestly, people say, I don't know if it was a survey or whatnot, a research study, but that people's best years are their 30s. Like, so don't ever think, oh my gosh, I'm leaning into my 30s. I'm about to get old, or it's going to suck, or it's nothing special anymore. I'm no longer young, et cetera, et cetera. No, I honestly am holding on to that belief. It just keeps getting better. And I do think 30s are going to be better than 20s. You're going to know who you are. You're going to have a better outlook on life and probably a better footing than you did when you were in your 20s. So as long as you are growing, you're moving forward in life, then
again,
you're good.
It's all about how you choose to spend your time. Like, again, 20s are messy when it comes to time. Like we live right now, again, it doesn't matter how planned out You try to be. Sometimes things happen. Things there have been times where I remember there was a day where I think it was early this year where we had planned a group hangout. It was
Oh,
like I think it was like what, 8 or 9 or 10 of us or something, and then two of them got sick. One or no, two of them bailed out. Two of them were planning on showing up, and it was at my house. And then even you and I, we were
we were exhausted.
we were like could barely
Literally so
stand.
tired.
Yeah.
It was on a Sunday. That's why it was so hard.
It was after church, a long day at church, and after like a meeting. It was a long day.
Yeah, I was at church all day. I think I served in the morning.
We had
then I was in
financial peace.
service, financial peace, and a meeting. So by the time we got out there,
rough.
it was after 5.
And the thing was supposed to start at 6, and we were just
Yeah.
we're like, nope, we're no, because it was gonna end up being me and two others. Not that I didn't want to hang out with them. It's just we were about to fall asleep as it was.
Right. It was a little get together that it's just, it would have been better just everybody. That's what makes it more fun.
It happens. But
You have to be flexible.
yes.
Because things will come up in life. You can't be so rigid with your planning and so fixated on it that if something changes, you're anxious or frustrated or you completely fall apart, because at the end of the day, time is not under your control.
No.
Like, you cannot master time.
You can
And you don't know what's coming.
you can manage it, but you can't control it.
Right. It's not under your
So
ability.
let's think. What are all the things that the average young adult will really deal with when it comes to managing time? What do you need to make time for? From what I'm thinking, obviously make time for God. Now, I'm not talking about just church. I'm talking about one-on-one time with God. That needs to be, and
Right.
let's be real, we all struggle with that sometimes. We get so focused on everything else that sometimes that falls to the wayside. We all have to do better about it.
Right.
I'm one of them. It's like the last week. It's been a little last week of school for me. Like, not that I'm in school, but again, I work in education. Last week, it's just been chaos. Been dead tired. It's just been a lot. And then you also have, like, you do have your church time, whether that be just going to church, volunteering with your church, ministry, stuff like that. You've got your friends, because again, you're the core the people you choose to let around you, the core people, those are your Christ-like foundation. You got to prioritize.
You have to have community.
You have to, because that's what a church is. It's not the building, it's the people.
Right.
You're obviously work,
Family.
and then
I have one that is crucial that a lot of us overlook in this culture is rest.
yes,
You have to have rest.
I struggle with that one.
I think we all do.
Me and Sleep are on a no-talking relationship.
We're just used to go, go, go. And we can get so caught up on saying yes to so many things that we're just like, oh my gosh, I am busy every day of the week.
Literally.
Like the whole month.
Another one though, and now this one, I think our culture, in today's young culture, I feel like this is the one that gets the most priority, but it's in the wrong way, is like alone or me time. Like, today's culture, everyone focuses so much on themselves. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing inherently, to give yourself some time to yourself. Like, everyone's got their hobbies, their interests. Like, I love movies and all that. I like board games, so I make time to indulge in those. Like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit at home. I'm gonna just lay down, watch a movie on the couch, or hey, I'm gonna get some friends together and we're just gonna play some board games. Like, everyone's got their hobbies. You can spend some time on your hobbies. Spend a little time and money on your hobbies. Now, again, don't make that like your whole thing. Don't be so self-obsessive and whatnot. Again, today's society is kind of bad at balancing that. But you should definitely take some time to just relax and enjoy the things you like.
Definitely set time to rest and recover. Dang, I forgot again.
Girl,
Ugh.
what? Come on.
It's the exhaustion. That's what it is.
Honestly. Literally, like, she's thinking about that. I keep staring out the window behind me because I've been waiting on the USPS truck. It's like, even in the middle of filming a podcast, we're just kind of, our time is as it is all over the place.
Dang.
It'll come to her. But yeah, you really gotta prioritize things. And the one thing I want to stress, at least with the friends, I was talking to one of my best friends recently.
I remember.
Hit me with it.
Okay.
Before
So
you forget
yes,
again.
you have to take time. Yeah, well, for rest and to recover, but you need to take time to know yourself. Like, you're gonna need to set time apart in your day to spend with God, to go into His presence, to receive that exchange with Him. But definitely, if you're not taking a pause and reflecting on your day or maybe your week or the actions you made and why you made those choices, and what could you change, what could you do better, what are you doing amazingly, and that you can pat yourself on the back for and encourage yourself for, and just being self-aware of who you are, how your body's feeling, how your mind's feeling, knowing what your needs are to keep you going.
Yes.
Because we hear that all the time, where you have to make sure your cup's full before you can pour into somebody else's cup. We get it. But when you're resting, really just try to get with God and say, show me who I am, who you created me to be, and what you need me to do today in this life, whatever the case may be. But I am a huge advocate for self-reflecting, being self-aware. And honestly, when you know yourself, you'll know when you're off and why you're off. And a lot of times you discover things, even physically with your health, and it's like, wait a minute, something's just not okay. And sometimes doctors can't even put a label on it of, you're like, I'm going to the doctor, and they're like, well, the scans come back fine. I'm like, but I know something's off.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that we should all be that self-aware of our own bodies and how we feel. We can never make it into some type of idol or some type of
so
hyper aware. That would be scary. But
how do you think that people should go about that? Like, obviously, like, there's meditation, and I don't mean like the no, but like prayer, meditation, sitting alone quietly with God, and just giving thought to things and stuff like that. But what else?
You mean for being self-aware?
Yeah.
And reflecting? For me, I do it throughout the day. I do it when I'm alone with God. I do it when I'm at work, whatever.
But how do you do it?
You pay attention. So if you say something a certain way or do something or react, maybe someone says something, and within yourself, you feel a particular emotion, and then you stop and you think, okay, well, why? Like, I'm a why person. I love to know the why behind things. So I never just take it for what it is. I want to know the reasoning. And I've just always been self-reflective, and I think that's helped me grow so much, which has helped me know myself and what I want out of life, which is why I feel like I haven't struggled so much in my 20s to know what I wanted to do. But I think it's definitely key to life. So don't ever overlook how you feel or how and what you're thinking, because the Holy Spirit will give you signs and warnings, and He'll talk to you, and He'll be like, hey, you're tired. Try to take a break. Or, hey,
You do kind of have to watch for that sometimes, though. And you, like, in the self-awareness, you have to not just be self-aware, but you need to be spiritually aware, because sometimes you can think that God is telling you one thing, but it could very well be something else.
And that's part of,
that's
getting alone with Him.
Yeah, that's
and
not a knowing
His
you thing.
voice.
That's a knowing God thing, because you need discernment in hearing those voices.
Right.
But a lot of times, common sense will tell you what the correct answer is.
Yet they say common sense is lacking in this generation.
It is, but that's a conversation for another day.
That's something to pray for. Pray for common sense and discernment and wisdom, godly wisdom and understanding, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So the thing I was going to say, because again, friendships are what I prioritize. Me and one of my best friends, we were talking recently. Me and this friend could not be more different. We argue about everything. We play Halo together and stuff like that, and we will get into just the most heated arguments. We disagree on how we go about things in life and a lot of stuff. But he's still one of my best friends. And recently, him and I were talking about that, and our mutual best friend asked him and I separately how in the world we are still friends. Not just friends, but best friends. And we both drew to the same conclusion. It's priorities. It's we love each other.
Commitment.
Yeah, it's commitment. Like in any relationship, not just romantic,
Right.
but friendships. You can be friends with anybody. You do not just have to be friends and can be friends. I have people in my life, we are very similar, or we have very similar interests or whatever. Those are not the people that I care about. I care about the people that make time to further that relationship.
You have to be intentional.
Me and this guy, we literally, again, we could not be more different. We argue about everything, but we love each other. We care, and we are there for each other when it's need. We put in the time. We plan hangouts when we can, and occasional phone calls. We'll play stuff outside of like Halo and stuff like that, outside of the four of us that normally play and stuff like that. And like, again, if one of us calls, the other is there. We make time for each other.
It's the choice to make it work, no matter what.
Exactly. Because, again, and now I'm not getting political or anything like that, but you, like, people on opposite sides of, political views, they can easily be friends. I have friends on both sides, some in the middle. It doesn't matter. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, everything is opinions. It's all, everyone, yeah, I see the mail truck too. Everyone is different, and it's just a matter of who you care about, who you allow into your life, and who is a good fit for you. Again, I love this dude. He's one of my best friends, and as adults, we could have drifted away, but we choose to allow each other to stay in each other's lives, and really wouldn't have it any other way. It's all about priorities. So kind of to summarize everything, here's what you, like, in my opinion, what you should do. First, go get yourself a monthly calendar. Get one that you can lay on your desk where you can see it every day, or get a little planner that you can take with you. Don't just put it on your phone. Get a planner, write down time, anytime a date is thrown out at you. Doesn't matter if you even plan on going to it. Put it in there so you can see it. So in the off chance that you decide you want to or need to remember where other people are going to be, put it in there, because it will help you in the end when it comes to planning. And be intentional about setting times and dates for things, and try your best to stick to them, and try not to slack on them.
That's what I was going to say. Commit to it. Commit to the time that you plan for. Please, if you're meeting up with people, do your very best to just show up on time as best you can. I know sometimes maybe even both parties are a few minutes late, and that's okay. But definitely, I'm a big believer of keeping your word. So unless it's something super major, super drastic,
or unless
maybe,
everyone's mutually like, hey,
exactly, that's what I was going to say. Otherwise, especially if it's something that's important to the other person or to yourself, just, show up. And, at the end of the day, when you meet with your friends, you've got the right people in your life, it's always going to be a blessing.
And same thing when it comes to work or ministry or anything like that. Give yourself time to do these things. Like, if you need more money, okay, prioritize doing a side hustle or prioritize overtime at work, however it is for you. If you feel like God's pulling you into ministry, give yourself time for it. Time management is hard, but when you really take the time and commit to it, it can make things so much easier. And like, my schedule is packed constantly, but I am never at a point where I'm like, oh no, like I don't know what's going on. No, because with help from Gabby, I have gotten myself figured out. I know my planning. Anytime I plan anything now, I've got it all figured out, and I'm a lot better at sticking to times because of that.
And don't wait till the last minute to plan something. If your friend, you're both adults, you're both busy, don't just wait. Hey, you want to hang out? Don't wait a month later to plan it, because
you can,
probably
but
not if you want to get together early enough. Because
I'm saying,
okay,
if you
let's
can
say
plan, do it, but.
Let's say I want to hang out with Ivory. Most likely, when we're both going to be free, it's going to be a month from today. So I'm going to go ahead and text her like, hey, let's look at dates. When can we, hang out? And then put that on there.
And see, you do have friends. Like, my buddy Cody's busy with college stuff and I'm busy with whatever. But occasionally we'll just hit each other up and be like, hey, you want to go see a movie tonight? Yeah, let's do it.
That's fine.
Me and Grayson do that. Me and
You
Grayson
can
do
do
that all the
stuff
time.
like that.
But that's what I'm saying is if you can do that, because to clarify, you can do that, but if you want to be intentional and you want to guarantee these things, set it up.
Keep your relationship going. Because
As
otherwise, if you
adults,
never
have
talk
to.
about it, it's going to fade.
As adults, you have to take the time.
You have to be aware. Oh, wait, it's been way too long since I've seen my best friend. Hold on, let me text him and let's plan something.
It's all about priorities. Like, I know the topic is time management, but time management and priorities, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other, really. Because if you don't have priorities, you don't need time management. And if you don't have time management, you aren't getting to your priorities.
Yeah, so it's a mix. It's a mix of resting and planning and having spontaneous moments in life.
Because you can have spontaneous, even in my crazy busy schedule, I still make time. Like, not like I make time for spontaneous moments, but they happen, and I'm like, okay, I'll roll with this.
Right.
Like, it's just how it is, and it all works out. You
just enjoy your life.
Really, like if you are a fly by the seat of your pants, you don't want to ever plan anything out. You just go with the flow. You know what? I know people who do that. I will say I know some people who do that, and it can become an issue for the people.
Struggle.
It's like it might not be a struggle for them, but it can be a struggle for those around you, and that's something you should also consider. Is because that's kind of a part of why I had to get so focused on my schedule, because it was I had two different groups of friends where it was every time I tried to hang out with one, I had already made plans with the other, and it became a whole. But I didn't realize it, and like literally there was a day where I had 4 things happening I was supposed to be doing at the exact same time on the same day.
Well, what I'm saying is if you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going. So if you're always flying by the seat of your pants, you're going to be like 5 years older and feel like you've made it nowhere. So definitely have goals and work towards that. So enjoy your life, be safe, have fun, and get closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
Keep getting closer to your friends and your family.
Focus. You have time to focus. You have your whole life. And also, now maybe this is just a hot take, but you have a long time to focus on your career. Your
career is consistently building. It's never just, you're going to build it in your 20s and that's it. It takes
something
time.
Society will tell you differently.
Right.
But take time to know you. Enjoy your 20s. Mm-hmm. Enjoy it.
Take it slow. Because you won't get it back. You won't get the time back.
You're only young once.
Right.
Well, I had fun with this one. We definitely had it inspired off the first episode.
Well, I hope it's blessed you guys.
I hope you guys have learned something from it. If you didn't, or didn't, let us know in the comments. Email us at thegrowingplacepodcast@gmail.com with any comments, questions, or concerns. Or if you are enjoying the new direction of the podcast, let us know. We enjoy feedback.
Until next time.
See you guys. Bye.